In the opening days of his presidency, Donald Trump has unleashed a flurry of executive orders at a record-breaking pace, leaving many to wonder, what is the driving force behind this unprecedented level of action? Trump's signing executive orders faster than a teenager scrolls through TikTok.
We have, for your signature, 5 official designations of special envoys. The first is Mr. Steve Witkoff, who's actually in the room to be your Middle East envoy.
This rapid rollout of executive actions suggests a desire to quickly enact his political agenda, regardless of how it may be perceived. Let's dive into the specifics and establish what these changes could do to our nation as a whole. When new leadership takes the center stage, we usually see a slower rollout of actionable things that can be implemented and realized over time to show progress and change. Yet, Trump has taken a different approach. In his first week alone, Donald Trump has signed 53 executive orders and actions.
And this doesn't have to be long. It's just all about common sense. Doesn't have to be long. In a few moments, I'll sign a historic executive order to ban
26 of which were on his first day. To put that in perspective, that's nearly double the number signed by President Biden in his first week. The speed at which he's doing this is significantly outpacing that of his predecessors. His 53 actions in the first week represent a 179% increase over Obama's first week total. Joe Biden signed 24 executive orders in the height of the COVID pandemic on issues like rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement and halting the U.S. withdrawal from the World Health Organization. George W. Bush signed 7 executive orders in his first week in 2001 on issues like reinstating the Mexico City policy, which limited the use of U.S. funds to non-governmental agencies. So in comparison, we can see how Trump's executive actions quickly cover a wide range of political issues that could have significant and lasting effects on millions of people. If you get value from this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I believe the reason he's able to aggressively push these ideas into place are because of 3 main reasons I'll save for the end. However, let's start with what I think is the most interesting, being the federal funds reallocation and/or freezing.
Federal grants and loan disbursements in what could be the most far-reaching executive action yet.
Trump has basically put a giant pause on a ton of government money. We're talking about $1.3 trillion in federal grants and loans. Imagine if your parents suddenly froze your allowance, but like for the whole country. The idea isn't for him to completely take the funds away, but strategically allocate the funds to departments and programs that benefit the American people the most.
Gut-wrenching deadline tomorrow. They can either accept an offer from the Trump administration to resign and keep their pay and benefits through September, or they can pass on the offer but take a gamble that they may be laid off in the weeks ahead.
He's calling for all federal workers to come back into the office, leaving the work-from-home mindset in the past. This idea makes sense, as we've already seen pressure from Trump to reduce the number of federal workers and create the most efficient and productive departments to complete the respective jobs. From a business standpoint, why keep a staff of 60 people with all types of different work schedules when the job can be completed with 30 full-time and dedicated individuals? A memo from the Trump administration and Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, says that the freeze is necessary so federal agencies can identify and review all federal financial assistance programs and supporting activities consistent with the president's policies and requirements. This is all what the newest program DOGE is aiming to correct and adjust accordingly with Elon Musk. We are seeing judges attempt to block the pause, but that doesn't look like it's going to slow Trump down at all. While it states that Medicare and Social Security benefits and assistance provided directly to individuals should not be impacted, it does not specifically mention the exclusion for Medicaid, and states are reporting that they are locked out of the health insurance programs. Medicaid provides health insurance,
and it's hard for us because we're like always thinking when she's going to get sick,
for around 80 million children, pregnant women, low-income adults, seniors, and disabled people across the country. So this is one key area Trump just simply can't avoid or put off for too long. But if you were counting on financial aid for college or food stamps, you might be in trouble. About 43 million people use SNAP benefits, aka food stamps, and now they're all wondering what's next. Now, let's talk about Trump's immigration policies, which literally have the world on the edge edge of their seats. The headliner, the Laken Riley Act.
The Senate has passed the Laken Riley Act. The Republican-led bill got over the 60-vote threshold with a handful of Democratic votes.
This new law requires the detention of undocumented immigrants accused of certain crimes, like theft. It's named after a 22-year-old nursing student who was tragically murdered last year. But Trump is not stopping there.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday ordered the expansion of a migrant detention facility at Guantanamo Bay.
Trump's also planning to turn Guantanamo Bay into a migrant detention center. That's right, the same place that used to house terror suspects could soon be home to 30,000 migrants.
We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them.
Along with these crucial implications, Trump continued to dig deeper into the issue. Next came the National Emergency Act.
I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
Regarding the crisis at the southern border of the United States and cleaning that up. Additionally, Trump signed an order suspending the physical entry of aliens engaged in an invasion of the United States, further emphasizing his focus on border security. Then, we have the order to protect the United States from foreign terrorists and protect the meaning and value of American citizenship.
Executive order realigning the United States refugee admission program to better align with American principles and American interests.
He signed another executive order for realigning the United States refugee admissions program. All of this was signed into place on day one. Immediate action. This subject was a crucial stance and promise for Trump during his campaign. This also aligns with how a large portion of Americans feel. And again, he said he would do this. Safety is clearly one of Trump's main initiatives. This aggressive approach can affect millions of families in regards to the discussions about birthright citizenship. I think the shock and awe from these actions is stemming from the stark differences in the approach from Biden to Trump and his cabinet members like Tom Homan, showcasing how serious they are about seeing this through to the end. Speaking of controversy, let's talk about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump's pick for Secretary of Health and Human Services. This guy's confirmation hearing was more dramatic than a season finale of The Walking Dead. RFK Jr. went from being an independent presidential candidate to potentially running one of the most important departments in the government. During his hearing, Kennedy had to defend his past statements on vaccines and abortions, and senators were not making it easy for him. His past statements have raised concerns among medical professionals like Dr. Emily Shin, a pediatrician in Boston who worries about the potential impacts on childhood vaccine rates. If confirmed, Kennedy's policies could significantly alter the healthcare landscape, potentially affecting everything from vaccine distribution to abortion access. It felt like an all-out war, and all the cannons were pointed at him. However, his response and defense were solid and proved that he clearly made a lot of Congress members nervous. It'll be interesting to see how he performs in his role and what changes he's going to implement with Trump leading the way. Pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies are in for one hell of a ride these next couple of years. Now, let's switch gears to the tech world, where a Chinese AI startup called DeepSeek is causing more drama than a high school group chat. This little-known company has suddenly become the talk of the town, sending shockwaves through Silicon Valley. While all these American companies were charging a small premium to squeeze every little ounce of profit out of consumers, here comes this new AI out of nowhere, offering a better version than all its competitors for free. DeepSeek's AI chatbot is so good, it's making American tech giants look like they're still using dial-up. I'm joking, but I'm kind of serious. This, to me, was a direct correlation to the Chinese responding to tariff increases from Donald Trump. But here's the kicker.
But DeepSeek has already vaulted to the top of the App Store on Apple as the most downloaded app, passing ChatGPT, which is pretty shocking. Look at that, #1.
Users are getting a front row seat into Chinese censorship. This competition could accelerate AI development, leading to breakthroughs in fields like healthcare and climate change mitigation. However, it also raises concerns about data privacy and national security. For example, a US tech startup, AI Innovations, recently lost a major contract to DeepSeek, citing the Chinese company's advanced capabilities. The economic implications are significant. second. Whoever leads in AI could dominate future industries, affecting job markets and economic growth globally. This AI showdown is raising some serious questions about free speech, national security, and who's really winning the tech race. It's got everyone from Mark Zuckerberg to Elon Musk to conspiracy theorists all locked in. Now, let's talk about money. Trump's economic policies are coming in hotter than a fresh stimulus check. Remember those tax cuts from Trump's first term? Well, they're getting a sequel. Trump's promising more tax relief for middle-class families and businesses. While we don't have all the details yet, here's what we know. Trump's love affair with tariffs is back for a second season. He's hinting at slapping new tariffs on imports, especially from China.
Main headline news that he revealed on board that flight is that this week, tomorrow, he will impose 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminium imports globally.
In the range of 25%. Trump's proposed tariffs, particularly on Chinese goods, could have far-reaching effects on the U.S. economy. For instance, when similar tariffs were imposed during Trump's first term, companies like Harley-Davidson faced higher costs and had to move some production overseas. While tariffs might protect some domestic industries, they could also lead to higher prices for consumers and potential retaliation from trading partners. The promised tax cuts could stimulate economic growth, but increasing consumer spending and business investment. However, they might also increase the federal deficit, potentially leading to long-term economic challenges. A large portion of lumber comes from Canada, and the steel we use for a solid portion of our infrastructure comes from Mexico. Both high-demand sources of materials we need to keep the U.S. productive and growing. The three main reasons I think Trump is steamrolling forward is: one, when we saw him get shot at and didn't flinch. How he stood back up and stayed true to himself, showing no fear, made a lasting impression with everybody, and I mean everybody. Elon Musk, Putin, Mark Zuckerberg all confessed to how badass that moment really was. Even his enemies had to tip their hats off to him. Second, he learned his lessons from 2016. He kept a mental inventory of what everyone was doing all over the globe and what's happening to the nation. He had a clear-cut plan, going straight into the campaign, blazing a trail ever since. Third, he's more loved today than ever before. The mental shift of a large portion of people tilted in his favor. The trust and loyalty surrounding Donald Trump is different this time. His support system and team are behind him 100%, and he's using this to his advantage. Remember, whether you're Team Trump or Team anybody but Trump, these policies are going to affect all of us. Stay tuned, stay informed, and hit that subscribe button for more details and breakdowns. Thanks for watching.